Hello, everyone. I've come across a myriad of stories. After digging into this, I chatted with a psychologist and reached a conclusion. If anyone believes that when a wife steps out with another man, her behavior shifts, her attitude towards her husband worsens, and she becomes distant while constantly hunting for reasons to argue, well, my dear friends, that's a fallacy. I'm 37 years old, my wife is a mere 6 months younger than me, and we have 2 children. Our oldest is 14, and the youngest is 11. We've been together for 16 years. Sure, we've had our fair share of ups and downs. Most of our disputes stemmed from financial strain and housing issues. In the beginning, we squeezed into rented rooms and lived with my parents, but now we've built a stable life together, a 4-room apartment, and a comfortable existence with both of us working. We're not living extravagantly, but it's sufficient for us and our kids. I found out about her infidelity completely by accident. One evening after dinner, our daughter was already put to bed, and our son disappeared into his virtual world. She returned home later than usual, declared that she was not hungry, and went straight to the bathroom. I didn't know that there was a second phone hidden in the back of her bag. She forgot to turn it off. The phone was on the bedside table in the hallway, and I heard the alarm sounds coming from her purse when she was in the bathroom. I'm not a peeping Tom, but curiosity got the better of me. I grabbed my phone and saw a message that said, "I'm waiting for you on Friday. I kiss you, my love." At that moment, it seemed to me that the earth had gone from under my feet, and everything was plunged into darkness. I hurriedly swallowed some Corval in one gulp. She came out of the bathroom, as if nothing had happened. I gritted my teeth, struggling to keep my composure. When she asked about intimacy that night, I pretended I was in a bad mood. I decided not to explode right here and now. I wanted to collect all the facts first. That Friday, I took time off from work and spent the whole day in my car. I left my car outside her office. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, she left the building where she worked, and I decided to follow her. I jumped into the car and drove off, chasing them. You have no idea how low I felt. I stooped to follow my own wife. She went to a restaurant, quite popular in the area. When I arrived, they were already there, hugging and kissing. Their feelings were far from platonic. They stayed there for about an hour, and then, still holding each other in their arms, they went out, got into his Touareg, and drove away. They stopped at an apartment building, and still hugging, went inside. I didn't go after them. I decided I'd talk to her when she got home. She returned at 10 p.m. We got the kids settled in bed, and then I laid everything out on the table. At first, she did her best to deny it, claiming I had misinterpreted everything. She challenged me about my right to follow her and rummage through her things, insisting that wasn't how a man should act. But eventually, under pressure, she confessed. This had been going on for years. All that time, I never once suspected her of anything. There were no obvious signs to indicate trouble. I asked her what more I could provide. You're well fed, cared for, and the kids are thriving under your attention. What more do you want? She replied that the man was married with 3 kids and had no intention of leaving his family. She insisted that I was great, that she loved me, and that her family was her top priority. But she also craved her own personal space. When I pressed her about the importance of sexual fidelity in a marriage, she claimed it wasn't the cornerstone of a successful relationship. So I asked her directly what her issue with me was. She answered that everything was fine, but she simply wasn't like everyone else. She identified as polygamous. One man wasn't enough for her sexually. She had exclusively sought out married partners, avoiding any strings attached. She had been involved with one guy for a year and a half, but they parted ways when he started suggesting that she leave me and abandon her family. Another affair lasted 2 years, ending when he began prying into her family life and bombarding her with questions about our relationship. essentially about me, and thought he had more claim over her than I did. Currently, she's seeing a business partner from his firm. It all began a year after our daughter was born. She confessed that at first, she felt like she was climbing the walls, too ashamed to look me in the eye. I was filled with self-loathing, contemplating how I didn't want to continue living. If it hadn't been for the kids, I might have gone to drastic lengths. I sought help from psychologists, psychiatrists, sex therapists, even various healers and mystics, but nothing seemed to work. The most effective one helped me for about 6 months, but then my mental state started to unravel again. Now she claims that since everything has come to light, she's ready to accept any choice I make. If I choose to divorce her, she insists she would understand. Yet she also mentions that doctors have told her she could get over this at any moment, that she was foolish for her actions. She feared I wouldn't understand her, and honestly, I still struggle to comprehend it all. If she had come clean from the start, maybe we could have tackled this together with my support. Instead, she hid everything to spare my feelings. If she hadn't left her phone on that day, I would have remained blissfully unaware, believing that I was the only one she loved, with those men merely serving as outlets for physical intimacy and variety in conversation. I asked her if she wasn't worried about infecting me. She reassured me that she only chose married men with stable lives, and she never used protection. A month has passed, and I still haven't made any decision about our future. We sleep in separate rooms, and she cries a lot. We have to comfort her so that the children don't notice. Our children adore her, and they love me no less. She's an amazing wife. It's wrong to complain. She's great at home and in bed. She often initiated intimacy herself, without hesitation in her expressions. The only problem is that none of us have our own place to live. We are both stuck in this apartment, which is gradually turning into a chaotic playroom for children, and there is no way we can move in with 2 children in tow. Her parents live with her older sister, who shares a cramped space with her husband and child, like sardines in a can. If I go back to my family, there's no job waiting for me there. Dividing the apartment would only hurt the kids. My son and daughter each have their own rooms, and I can't bear the thought of uprooting them from their familiar surroundings. I've sought advice on several psychological forums, and many suggest that I should get a divorce and just coexist as neighbors. Live your own life, they say. She'll find someone else, and you'll move on. The truth is, I still love her, and it's painful to see her in distress. She claims to love me too, but I find it hard to believe. She says she can't control her urge for multiple partners, but I have no intention of putting up with it either.